everybody, welcome back to the vlog. Once again, it's tea time, and today is going to be a battery day. You think battery, is it important? Yes, batteries are important, especially as photographers and videographers that we are. Batteries are mission critical to sometimes getting the shot or not getting the shot, right? So we're going to talk about it. I'm going to give you a bunch of information. I'm going to start out, I'm going to tell you how to match your batteries, how to create sets of batteries, and why you should do it. Then I'm going to go into a little bit about how to take care of your batteries and how to test them, which is very, very important. And finally, I'm going to tell you which battery I think is by far, hands down, the best AA rechargeable battery on the market. That is, of course, my opinion. Take it all with a grain of salt. If you guys have other thoughts, please, as always, in the comment area below, put your comments, put your thoughts, your suggestions. Help the community as you always do. So before I get into it, I want to say, please check out my website, jchristina.com, where you can find some photography tools I've invented over the years. And maybe there's something there that you might like. Pick it up and support me. That would be awesome. So let's get right into it. Let me start out with matching batteries and why is it so important. But before I do, let me give you some of my background. Not only am I a photographer and videographer, I've been doing this for a couple of decades now, but I'm also an avid RC guy. I love remote control cars, and I used to race them, not professionally, but I used to race them sometimes 2-3 times a week. Right? And to be able to get to a B main and finally into an A main and end up winning the entire race is very, very important. And battery life is probably number one next to being able to drive the car itself. And we spend a lot of money on getting matched batteries and chargers that would actually charge them properly. So let me get into matched batteries and what that is and how that pertains to batteries that I'm currently using and why you should do it also. So when we're talking about matched batteries, I'm talking about batteries that come from the same lot. It's very, very important to, for example, get batteries that are holding the exact same amount of charge and dissipating at the same amount of speed and producing the same amount of amps for the same amount of time. All of this same is very, very critical. Why is that? The bottom line is heat, all right? So if you have, for example, 4 batteries in a flash, and I'm sure you guys have done this before, and you do all of these full load dumps over and over and over. You pull the batteries out, you can barely hold them, all right? Well, if you take those 4 batteries, put them in your hand when they cool down a little bit, you'll be able to feel if they are all equally as hot or if one is hotter than the rest. If certain ones are hotter than the other ones, what that means is those are taking on the majority of the load. And what we want to happen is the batteries to work like a family, work together and hold each other up. So if the camera or the flash needs, for example, 4 amps, they're all producing 4 amps and not one is producing 4 and the next one's producing 3. What will happen is the one that's producing 3 isn't holding up its end of the bargain, and the other ones have to produce more amps to support that camera. And in so doing, more amps, more heat. And those batteries will now die faster. So it's very important to have synced, sets, matched, however you want to call it, batteries. Now, how I do it is when I buy a set of batteries, I keep those together and I'll write the date on when I got them on the battery itself. And then I'll also, if they're same batteries from the same year, I'll put little hash marks, 1 hash, 2 hashes, 3, whatever it is, so that I know that they are together. And I'll also build these sets according to their use. If they're going into, for example, a camera and might need 6 batteries, so I'll make a set of 6. Those 6 will stay together from birth to death. That's how you build sets. What that does is, like I said, it keeps everything in sync. You will know by doing testing after the fact if one is starting to become an issue. If it is, you need to replace that one so you don't kill the other 3, for example, in a set of 4. So that's the matching. and why you're supposed to match and why you build these sets. And as you can see, most of my batteries, they'll have like hash marks. This has 2 hash marks. Chances are there's another 3 that are just like this, all right? The same thing with numbering. Here's a battery that has 1109. This battery is 9 years old, guys. Still using it, right? So as far as testing and charging goes, we want to have a tester. We don't want one of these testers that just go green if it's good or red if it's bad. No, we need a multi-tester, something like this. Now, I'm not an electronics wizard, but I can plug in a couple of wires and be able to test for amps and be able to test for volts. That's really all that we need for the most part, and that'll do the trick. So what I do is as soon as I get the batteries, I make my sets and then I will charge them up fully. And then I will test them to see how much volts they're producing and how many amps. And I'll write that down. So for this will be 4 hashes. I'll write down 4 hashes in 2009 or whatever. And I'll put how many volts and how many amps they had originally from the very beginning. Okay, it's a good way to know where this batch has started and where it has gone to over the course of maybe years, months, or for me, some of them, decade. So that is the beginning. Next comes charging. Now, if you guys have chargers that look like this, or even the ones that come right from the manufacturer themselves, take these, just chuck them, throw them right into the bin, because they're garbage. Do they do the job? Yeah, they do the job, but they don't do a really good job of it, all right? We don't want them, all right? All this free stuff or cheap chargers, we don't want that. Now, I use one of these. These are by Maha, I guess it is Maha. It's a Power X, I believe it's called. This is a professional charger. It recharges AAAs as well as AAs. So the difference between this and, for example, this is this has some common sense. This doesn't. This basically just charges. Maybe it trickles slowly or maybe it charges really quickly. It depends on the charger you have. But this actually charges slowly, but it does it mindfully. It knows how many amps it's giving it. It knows where it sits. It knows not to heat it up so much. There's little heat sensors in here, right? So it does it, like I said, mindfully and softly. There's even a button called soft. So let me first say, this is not like a paid promotion for this company. This is just what I use. You can find any professional charger, but the bottom line is you want a professional charger. They go for $60, $80, maybe $120. That's about where they're at. Spend the money. Trust me, spend the money. You will thank me later for it. So finally, I want to tell you which ones I think are the best. Out of all of the batteries that I've used, Energizers, N-Loops, Duracell, Amazon, all kinds of batteries over the years, the absolute best that I've found, are N-Loops. They're by Panasonic. Now, once again, this is not a paid promotion or some type of commercial. I'm just telling you. I've used these batteries these are more like the new style. These are the old ones. I have used these batteries, some of them for over 10 years. And like I said, the proof's in the pudding. Let me show you some of the pudding. So here is a battery that is 10 years old that I just last night shot 445 flash drops with it of 1/8 power. It comes in at 3.5 amps left in power, whereas normally brand new, it's at 4.0 amps. What's interesting here, guys, is in the volts. You see that it went down to 1.28 volts, whereas normally when I fully charge this battery, it goes up to 1.48 volts. Now, brand new, it only produced 1.5 volts. It's only down 0.2. That is amazing. Over 10 years. And I'm still getting use out of this battery 10 years later. So I have to say about the N-Loop batteries and why I think that they are the best. They really hold their maximum sustained amps and volts over the course of time. Also, they hold their juice for 30 to 40% longer. That means if I take all of my other batteries and I set them aside with the N-Loops, I fully charge them. When I go and check those batteries, the N-Loops will be 30% more charged than the other ones. They hold their charge longer. And finally, I have had less defective N-Loops over the years. Other batteries, I've gotten batteries I just had to throw away because they end up, when I do my testing, they end up bad. Now, let me kind of come full circle and tell you about this testing that's very important and how if we do have a bad battery, it's important to replace it. If you have a bad battery and you're testing them, I personally test my batteries once a month. If I find that one is dissipating faster than the other 3, let's say it's a set of 4, I know that that battery is slowly starting to go south and we need to pull it out of that set and replace it with one that is equal to the other 3. It is very, very important. Equally as important as charging it slowly. Slow charges end up being a better charge. Trickling the batteries are much better than trying to get a 1-hour charger and pound the juice into it. It doesn't work as well, and the longevity of the battery is what is affected. So I hope you found this content to be of value. If you have, please throw me a big thumbs up. That would be absolutely awesome. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button so you get all my content when it becomes available, and click the little bell icon so when it is available, you will be notified. And finally, head over to my website, jchristina.com, where you can find a lot of photography tools I've invented for you and me over the years, and hopefully there's something there that can be of value to you and your business. If so, pick it up and support me. That would be stellar. That's it, guys. I'm out of here for yet another vlog. We'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.